right, good evening, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another exciting adventure of Bob playing Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts on Legendary. I know I'm trying to make this sound all big. It's just me playing video games online. But anyway, welcome to tonight's stream. And yeah, I haven't been streaming that much. I've been so busy with work, and I've just been tired. So we're just gonna kind of chill out tonight. I was originally I've been wanting to do another episode of my British speedrun campaign, but I've got to think hard for that, and I barely have any brain power, so we're just going to chill and hang out and ignore all the craziness of the world and invade Germany. Yep, we're going to invade Germany tonight because screw those guys. That's right. Actually, I'm not really sure what we're doing. I haven't played this in a little while. Transports are looking good. That's good. And our politics, I guess we've already done whatever we can do. And I know we've been building just a crap ton of... we built a lot of destroyers in previous episodes. I don't know where these destroyers are, actually. So, we have a metric crap ton of destroyers. And all these other ships... got some raiders. So I do have an awful lot of destroyers in Santa Cruz and Djibouti, and I don't even know what I'm going to do with them all. You know what? We're just going to YOLO this. I'm going to hit next turn. I'm going to see what's going on because I don't care enough to overthink this. Tonight is going to be a nice chill night. Oh, I got a bunch of stuff coming here to go take over Montenegro. It's going to really suck to be them. All right, let's see what happens. I think my plan was to go and take the Mediterranean, secure that, and then go from there. But we will see. Let's see what we run into. No, I don't want an alliance with Japan. We're gonna go get them later anyway. Got a couple of cruisers here. That's a pretty good sized cruiser. Oh, these Second Amendment ships are. Those look pretty beefy. Let's go see what these guys can do. Yeah, so we'll play tonight for... I don't know if I'm going to go full 3 hours. I might go an hour or two. I'm just going to kind of see. It's already 11 o'clock at night. We just got a late start of things. I meant to get home a lot earlier. I meant to get home about 7 o'clock. And then I got delayed with a bunch of stuff. I was just closing things up at the computer store, and I'd been helping a friend of mine out who's about to move. Just kind of getting his computer kind of worked on a little bit, and then all of a sudden his computer just stopped working. And I was like, well, shit. And then we spent hours getting that sorted out, because I need to fix it up now before he moves, because once he's gone and living far away, then I'm not going to be able to help him so much. So that kind of threw a monkey wrench in my evening. Alright, battleships. That's a lot of... Alright, so you are going to retreat. These patrol boats.
Good evening, Bob and Mitchell.
Hey, JP. Hey, Mitchell. Yeah, we're just going to grab all these guys together. Screw it. We're just going to make a big blob of ships.
Sitting here waiting for the snow to start about 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to get somewhere around we're saying about 6 to 8 inches.
Well, I'm sure it'll be all right. What can possibly go wrong?
Damn you! You just jinxed it, didn't you? Knock wood.
I couldn't resist.
Dickhead. Well, along that line about calling for 8 inches of snow, there was years ago came across this one YouTube video to where it was like embarrassing moments during live news broadcasts.
Uh-huh.
And it was, this one TV station. It was like, out in the west part of the country, up someplace like, Wyoming or Montana or someplace like that. And the day before, they had been calling for like 8 inches of snow, overnight in
Yeah.
that area. Well, after the news and like getting overnight, something changed with the weather to where the snow completely missed that area, so they didn't get anything.
Right.
So the next evening on, excuse me, so the next evening news broadcast, the female, as they segued into the weather report, the female anchor, to segue into the weather report, the weatherman over there said, "Well, Bob," said, "what happened to that 8 inches you promised me last night?"
Oh,
And they
that's
cut
good.
over to the weatherman just in time to see him clearly falling down on the floor laughing his ass off. And then cut back to the female anchor, and I mean,
Hey,
as
Shackles.
soon as she said it, she realized what it was. Her mouth hanging over her face, deep red. She just held papers up in front of her face.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, there's a unfortunate destroyer. Hello, unfortunate destroyer. Oh,
Why is that destroyer unfortunate?
because it's by himself, coming up against my whole flotilla of Second Amendment battleships, which have a very impressive secondary armament. And he just got... Well, you'll see it catch up in a couple seconds. He just got unfortunated.
They're talking about it's going to be very light, very fluffy. It's like, snow I can handle.
What's the range of
Go
this torpedoes? 3.8 kilometers. Ooh, I might actually have a bit of a problem if he's able to launch in time. Nope, he didn't launch in time. Yeah, so these Second Amendment battleships, I really like them. They've got two twin 13.9-inch turrets on the center line, and then they have six 7.9-inch twin turrets center line. And not as many Saint 2.9s as you would expect from a ship that I build, but it's got a lot of these are chunky. Does the rear turret not have an angle? I guess it doesn't. I guess he doesn't have a firing angle. Alright, which way are you going? You are going 19.2 knots, just trying to get the hell out of there. I guess we're going to just go straight towards you until we catch up. Yeah, everything's just been I've just been exhausted. One of my corporate customers had not an emergency, but they had a waiting until last minute incident, and so I had to hurry up and deal with it before it became an emergency. And plus, with all the extra work coming through the shop, You know, it's like everybody was staying home during the ice storm, and then I guess they all broke their computers because as soon as the ice storm ended, everybody just showed up, and we've just been slammed. So I've been having to get all my corporate work done and help the guys with the retail stuff. So that's why I haven't been around so much lately. I've just been wiped out. That was a little hit. So yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to play tonight. I'm just going to kind of hang out and relax for a bit. I've got a bunch of stuff that I ought to do. And, but I don't want to do it. Like, I've got to figure out where the crack in my pipe is in the kitchen. That if I run too much water out of the kitchen sink, then my kitchen and bathroom starts flooding. I think I've got a small crack. Probably not from this freeze, probably from before. Maybe it got a little worse, I don't know. Just like a lot of stupid stuff. Life is full of a bunch of just stupid stuff that you always have to do. That cruiser sure is running fast. How fast? So we're going 22 knots, roughly, and he's going 19. I will say, one of the nice things about these American ships is, boy, their spotting distance is fantastic.
Those wonderful cage masts.
Oh my god. I love cage masts. Wonder why nobody else used them. Were they just fragile, or?
Well, I don't think they realize the spotting advantage you can get. They're mainly just like I was first starting out the game. I was looking at like the accuracy stats on it. It's like, the accuracy for the guns is just about crap. Didn't realize that with that spotting range you could start firing much farther away. And also, you could put like a secondary tower that was non-cage mast that did have
some decent
ratings.
Spotting.
Yeah, that did have good ratings for accuracy to go along with the cage mast and its good spotting to, yeah.
Well, I mean, in real life too, nobody else really used cage masts, I don't think.
Yeah, the British used tripods and like that. I think what it was, the U.S. came up with that design, and the reason they stuck with them so long, they thought it was not so much for, well, in game it gives a tremendous spotting advantage, which I don't think that was really the truth in real life.
Yeah, I'm not
Spotting
sure.
was mainly due to height of the mast, but they thought it, the way the spiral structure was, they thought it had superior resistance to battle damage.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what Drakenafel said, was they thought that the gauge mast arrangement would allow some shells to pass through without actually hitting and limit the damage to the section that was struck.
Let's see. Alright, so according to Google, American cage masts, also known as lattice or basket masts, prominent in the U.S. Navy between 1909 and early 1930s, was designed to provide maximum height for long-range gun spotting while resisting battle damage. Primarily designed to be lightweight, shock-absorbent, and resilient against small-caliber hits, but they were generally avoided by other nations due to their flexibility and tendency to collapse in severe weather and incompatibility with heavier modern fire control equipment. Oh, which is why they have bad accuracy in the game, because you couldn't put the heavier fire control equipment on them. It's the primary driver for the adoption of cage masts. In the Dreadnought era, survivability under fire. The main design theory is the structure comprised of light, multiple intertwined steel tubes that were too light to detonate high explosive shells. Shell would likely pass through or only cut a few wires rather than destroying the entire mast, unlike a single pole mast. Lightweight, yeah, I mean, they're obviously very lightweight. Vibration dampening, yeah, I can see that. Radio antenna support, the large high surface area of the cage. Oh, that's a really good point, yeah. You could radio the shit out of those things. Because you've got that tremendous height. I don't seem to be doing that well against this asshole. Alright, 6 kilometers. Let's start turning and get more guns on you, please. What do you have? So you've got 3.8 kilometer torpedoes. You got 31% accuracy. Wow. So well, now you're just screwed. Why other countries didn't use them? Other navies, British and German, they favored heavy tripod masts. And they thought that the lattice was flawed, which... Too flexible for precision fire. While designed to reduce vibration, the flexibility was so extreme that in heavy seas, when the main guns fire, the mast would sway. Oh, okay. Okay. Incompatibility with weight increases. That makes sense. Yeah, the fire control systems got heavier and more complex, and the cage mast couldn't support the weight, forcing the Navy to replace them with stronger tripods in the 1930s. Lack of protection for equipment, open nature of the cage offered no protection for delicate cables and wires. Fighting cables leading to the gunnery spots, which could be easily destroyed by splinters. Incompatibility with European tactics, which European navies facing the risk of fighting in the harsh North Sea favored rigidity of tripods. Yeah, because we just had better oceans. Because the Pacific is pretty chill, comparatively. By 1930, U.S. Navy acknowledged the superior tripod mast for stability and strength, replacing the cage mast on nearly all modernized battleships. Alright.
In other words, like 1890s, early 1900s, when basically you had to close to St. 2.9 range to decide a battle. Well, yeah, cage masts were a good idea, but when it started going on the Dreadnought era, and you had to have fire control equipment for really long-range fire, well then, yeah, they weren't the best thing for it.
And the reality is that the American Navy never really adopted Bob's, religion of Saint 2.9. The American Navy never really liked to brawl. Bob brawls. But it's also a little bit different in a video game. Because really the whole Saint 2.9 just takes advantage of a unique gap in technology where the light gun barrel length improvements happen quicker. And so you can just get some ridiculous... the 2.9 ends up outperforming the 3-inch. Alright, so we got these guys. I don't know if I want to fight these dudes or not. They've got more tonnage than I do there. I don't know if there's any benefit. These are regulars, cadets. I could beat them up. But how tough are the tiny jalapenos? I don't remember how tough they are. These guys have bigger guns, 2 10-inch guns, and a bunch of 4s.
I remember you really liking that tiny jalapenos.
Oh, I do. I know I like them. I just don't know if I want to fight heavier warships with them. But these guys are less trained than me. Oh, fuck it. We'll just reload it if it doesn't go well. We can go pick off some of their stuff. Well, the quad turrets weren't. They had a lot of accuracy problems, and I think even with the triple turrets, they had to fire the center gun a little bit offset from the two side barrels
Yep,
because the shockwave.
because of the spacing of the barrels. Believe it or not, that's why the British hung on to twin turrets
For so long. Yeah.
The Royal Navy actually had a spec for the minimum spacing you had to have between each barrel in a twin turret to prevent the blast from blast from one gun interfering with the other gun when they were fired. And when the U.S. Navy started going to triples, like you said, like, you know, on early standard battleships, they were finding out, oh crap, you know, we've got the guns so close together, we fire all three at once. The shock wave from all three guns interfere with each other.
Yeah.
What they came up with, they just put like resistor or whatever to incorporate resistors or whatever into the fire control circuit to integrate, like said, like maybe like a half a second delay to where, like, you know, the outer two guns would fire and then a half second later the center gun would fire. Said that pretty much, you know, took care of the interference problem from the blast.
Yeah. Although with the ship pitching and rolling, that might cause some problems, because one of the interesting things that they had this gyroscope. I saw it on Battleship New Jersey's channel, where they had some sort of gyroscopic something or other, and so when they aimed, you know, they'd pull the trigger, but the gyroscope would delay firing the gun until the ship was level, just to minimize the negative effect from the ship bobbing around. Can we... There we go. Let's do that. So ideally, we're going to go kind of further away from the enemy cruisers, which I don't know if we're actually... Yeah, we're faster than them by... Yeah, these tiny jalapenos are quick. So we're going to outdistance the other cruisers, which seem to want some. And we're going to see if we can take out these destroyers. I didn't tell you to stop firing at him, you asshole. Keep firing. Keep shooting at the same guy till he sinks. We're not a nice navy. We're a sinking them navy.
No, they actually had to change the abbreviation for Ernest King for early part of World War II. Because, you know, his title was Commander-in-Chief U.S. Fleet. So the way they, before the war started, the way they had his title abbreviated, you know, acronym, was CINC-US.
Oh shit, those guys have a 6-kilometer torpedo range. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
In other words, the abbreviation for his title was pronounced Sink Us.
Oh no. Oh no.
They actually changed the acronym for his title.
Oh shit, these guys have a 6.2 kilometer. We're going to turn very hard. Yes. Oh, alright, so we are going to... yeah, because I fucked that up. We're going to have you guys each individually dodge torpedoes, because I don't want to lose any of my ships. And there's not... And I don't trust the dodge command. So we're going to... do this. we maybe turn a little harder? There we go. Just scraped on by. Now let's have you turn a little more like that. Oh, we got one of them. We got two of them. Alright. Let's have... follow you. All you guys follow him. Alright, now this guy, I would really like everybody to please shoot that guy, if you would. Because screw that guy in particular.
Commonly said, screw that general direction.
Well, we're going to be very specific in our screwing. I want to take out that destroyer before he fires more torpedoes at me, because I don't want to play dodgy the torpedo. So I do not enjoy that game very much. But then again, he also doesn't like getting hit, so... Wait, he's aiming at my light cruiser. Oh! I only have two tiny jalapenos. These guys are light cruisers. Oh, these are my patrol boats. These guys are awesome. I love those guys. Alright. I totally forgot about that. Although they're not quite as tanky as my tiny jalapenos, but these guys are... They're 8... No, they're still pretty tanky little ships. So we're just going to play it nice and chill until we take out Senor Destroyer.
Halfway through the battle before he realizes what ships he has.
Well, you know, I mean... It's been a long day. There's a...
I was about to say, yeah, it's been a long day for you.
Can I say typical U.S. Admiral?
Fern. What I should probably check the range, the torpedo range of this light cruiser. 6 kilometers, huh? Alright, so let's maybe keep a little bit of distance.
Well, there's some validity to that. Considering they don't know these days what to call a cruiser, a destroyer, or a frigate.
They are a little confused.
A little.
No.
I spent 20 years in there. A little.
Well, you know, it's modern times. They just need to ask the ship how it wants to identify.
Yeah, but the brown water ships, you know, announcing that they identify as little ships.
All right, we're gonna do a quick little turn here because I don't trust what was happening.
Yeah, my only concern with this current storm is basically Sunday and Monday morning it's supposed to be down to around 10 degrees. I'm like, yeah, has me a little concerned about water pipes.
Yeah, I've been letting things drip, and we'll see how it all works out. It hasn't been. I mean, it's starting to warm up now. It's just the problem is now the snow. We had a little bit of warm, so the snow melted a little bit, and then refroze, and now it's super slippery.
Yeah, considered mainly what we got was just a little bit of snow, and the rest was like sleet. Out there on the concrete front of our house that's out of the sun, even after all this time and temperatures have gotten up into the low 40s on a couple of days, still got a good half inch of ice covering that concrete.
Yeah. I just don't want somebody to slip and fall and bust themselves in my driveway or my parking lot, or slip and fall and bust up their computer. Although I guess technically that's what insurance is for, but
Still, it's best to prevent the occurrence in the first place.
could we maybe shoot the ship and not no? Hey, dumbass, don't turn, just shoot the ship. Don't worry, little destroyer, we're gonna get you soon. We just need to get back into... Now that we know there weren't any torpedoes fired, now we can get in there and brawl.
About 5 or 6 years ago, when we had one bad cold wave come through and it got down to 8 degrees one night, survived, the faucets on drip mode and such, survived without any damage. And I've made some significant improvements in regard to insulation and such regard since then, so I'm not really worried. It'll just be mainly putting on some auxiliary heat because, yeah, old 30-year-old heat pump. Yeah, you're talking like getting down to close to single-digit temperatures. No, heat pumps only work when there is heat to transfer.
Yeah, imagine so. This guy doesn't have torpedoes. He does have torpedoes. Hopefully we can shoot you before they lock on. Alright, so we took out the destroyer before he could lock on. Now this light cruiser is going to go down. Alright, so which one of these guys has... That's the 10-inch gun right there, right? This dude. Alright, so... Yeah, just everybody shoot him. Yeah. He's got lighter armor anyway. How are we doing on it? We're running a little low on ammo. I mean, I guess we're doing all right. It might behoove us to leave. I don't know if I really want to brawl that guy down or not. I mean, I've got sort of the advantage. I should have just left. You know what? We can still leave. Leaving is still an option. Because I just sank a bunch of his destroyers, so I'm going to get experience. And we're all faster than him. And... so we're just going to peace out. And be like, so long, suckers. There we go. So we sank his light cruiser and 3 destroyers. Did we get our experience? We got our experience. So we did good. I will chalk this up to a win. You never use quad. Yeah, they do weigh a lot. I mean, I'll use quads sometimes, like especially when I was doing my Japan campaign. I love the little quad, like 6-inch guns. Let's go boop those, and we can go take out this this little Gneisenau now. But yeah, I usually only use doubles or triples. I seldom use quads. Alright, so
I'll usually wait as far as like if I ever use triples, like wait until I get like at least the improved triple turrets, if not the advanced triple turrets. You know, on the tech tree there for like turret mechanisms.
yeah. These tiny jalapenos are actually kind of fast. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to detach that. I'm going to have you follow the tiny jalapeno. And I'll have you chase them down because you're faster. And then once you spot them... So like one viable tactic would be have some scout ships with cage masts, and then have some battleships with more accurate something or others. Yeah, secondary. I'll do quad secondaries sometimes, especially like small ones. Although the quad 2.9s have a shorter range than the triples and doubles. All right, Mr. Light Cruiser. I think you only go like 20. Oh, you're 21 knots. What's the range on your torpedoes? 1.5 kilometers. You are an older ship. You are not fantastic.
That's the one thing that's kind of unique about Panzergraph's current playthrough. He's like up to like he's using the dip mod. He's up to like 1946 playing the Ottoman Empire.
Right.
And he still has 500-ton torpedo boats running around carrying like tubes for 15 24-inch oxygen torpedoes.
Oh goodness. Hold on 1 second. Alright, I'm back. That's my dad checking in. He was at a movie earlier today and he just got back. And so I have a pretty awesome dad, I'll admit. And so we talk a lot. I want to try and get him on stream more. You guys would probably love him. Sometimes he says some pretty base shit, though. Stop.
That does tend to happen when you get older.
Yeah. Yeah, he's old enough that he doesn't give a shit. Alright, so Mr. Bowser, we're gonna have you turn this way, Mr. Freedom Ship, and you're just gonna let's go box this guy in. Because I'm tired of playing chasey with you. Let's angle in a little bit more. These guys are veterans, but they're having a hell of a time hitting this guy. And we don't even have that many penalties. There we go. There we go. That took care of business. Sometimes I'll use quads for a main, like especially on like on chasing ships. I'll use 2 quads up front and then a bunch of secondaries in the back if I'm trying to like hunt stuff down. But they're usually not really big guns. But then again, I usually don't use more than like 13.9s anyway. Alright, they lost a bunch of transports. And... oh, France is mad. Okay, I guess I was pissing them off.
It's a day ending in Y.
Yeah. Battle of Portugal. Am I invading Portugal? I mean... oh, I am invading Portugal. Look at that. What do you know? Fuck Portugal. We're gonna get you. No, I shouldn't say that. Steve lives in Portugal and he really likes it there. Let's go screw over some of these guys. Let's say... yeah, let's go get this dude. We're gonna get them. Yeah, that's just a little harassment torpedo boat. I need to get my destroyers activated, but I'm feeling super lazy tonight. Alright, so you can retreat. And then we're just gonna go to town. Yar. Oh, that's a raider. That raider's fast, aren't you? Oh, you are kind of quick. That's okay. We'll just all hang out together. This is a nice ship. It's 6 5.9-inch guns. Wow. No cage mass, but nobody's perfect. Hey, Turpits. You gonna send it to me in a direct message? I'll check it out. Yar har, a pirate's life for me. Let's go and sink some transports. Hello, Mr. Cruiser. Which one are you? 7-inch guns, 11,000 tons, and you probably have buttloads of armor. You've got 3-kilometer torpedoes, and you don't have that many guns. You just have buttloads of armor. You know what that means? It means I'm going to brawl you. I'm going to brawl the crap out of you. Because the tiny jalapeno's a brawler. We're going to go right on in. Now this Raider is probably going to blink. Mr. Raider says, I am going to go after the transport. Oh, this guy wants to... He's trying to get a little fresh also, isn't he? Alright, now these transports have no guns, which is unfortunate for them. Alright, so we're going to play a little switcheroo here. You're going to duck around like that. Yeah, look at me being sneaky here. You're going to get in brawl the heavy cruiser, while the light cruiser is going to sneak around behind you and poke you in the butt. Alright, buddy, say hello to Saint 2.9. That's right. Because Tiny Jalapeno is made for brawling. We just shot off your torpedoes. We're going to cross the T here where you don't really have a lot of guns that can do much about me either. Anyway, so... Daka, 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 daka. We took out your small guns. You've had enough fun. Let's go get some transports. Would you shoot at the front ship instead of turning that way? Alright, there we go. So that worked out really well, I think. Were you in a Marauder? What mech were you in? I'll go check out the screenshot here in just a moment. Alright, we get our experience. We did. Nice. Alright, so let's see what you messaged me. Alright, how'd you do? You did 1,000 damage. Nice! Almost 1,100. Very good. What mech is this? Match ID. I guess it doesn't show me what mech this is. But good job, Turpits. I did 4 team damage, but that's okay. That's what back armor's for. A Nova Cappy. Oh, were you just doing your Sky Cancer? You did good. Good job. I don't know if I want to have 2 tiny jalapenos against a battleship. That's a big battleship with a lot of guns. I don't know about that. I'm not really feeling that so much. What about this one? This one I am definitely feeling. Yeah. Right on. Lerm for the Lerm God. Alright, let's go get this guy. Nice. Sky Cancer's best cancer. Yeah, I was thinking of playing some MechWarrior Online tonight, but my vision's blurry from staring at computer screens all day. I'm just tired. So, I decided I would just take it easy. Alright. Oh, we already... Let's have you go around that way. And you're going to go kind of straight in. Alright, what are these what's that transport arm with? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Alright. Yeah, just go shoot your ass up. Get some. You might have lots of armor, but not enough to stop my shells at point blank range. Yeah, a little overpen never hurt anybody, except for the guy overpenned. Actually, you know what, we're just gonna... Yeah, you're just gonna get shot up. Let's go take out your transport, so you don't think you can get away from me. Alright. Let's go back and deal with this clown. Alright, there we go. I would enjoy multiplayer UAD. I think it would be very cool to... I mean, it'll never happen, but it would be cool to do a co-op. But that's just me. But if we were to do a PvP match, oh, I don't know. I'd have to think of some dirty trick just to make you go crazy and pull out your hair. Alright, so that other convoy we're going to leave alone. I have too much repairing going on right now, so I got to go and stop 15,000 tons. 15,000 tons of sadness. I think
and vegetables.
Yeah, I'm going to suspend you two guys. Because you're probably... Yeah, because these guys need to get repaired. Alright, so... I should be able to invade something. What are my options? I have lots of... oh, wow, I've got a lot of options. You know what I kind of want to do is... I kind of want to get rid of these ass clowns out in the middle of nowhere. Like the Marshall Islands wouldn't be bad. So let's go get the Marshall Islands just to keep you guys out of here. So we're going to say, hello Marshall Islands. I am invading you. Ka-ding. And we will put 4 of you guys on each island, which will be more than enough to take it. Alright, that'll take care of those guys. Our tech is already kind of maxed out. There we go, we'll do that. That's getting conquested. I mean, everything looks pretty good. I have 95 destroyers here. Alright, so that's... You've got 2 battleships, and I've got more battleships. What kind of battleships? Oh yeah, we're gonna... So you guys, where are you heading to? You are going... You're heading up this way. You know what you guys need? You guys need a destroyer escort to help you hunt down assholes like these. Oh, you have... We're gonna go right over to here. And then we're gonna have... One, two, three, four, five. And have you guys go meet up with them. There we go. So that'll take care of that. What are these guys? These guys are 2 battleships and a torpedo boat. And I wonder how good... I kind of want to keep these guys here to patrol. Do I have any... I guess I could send them up there to take this out. What do I have here? I've got a cruiser. Does Germany have any allies? They have no allies. Alright, because nobody likes them. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to have you guys... We're going to go up here. And then I'm going to have you guys... Oh, do I have the original up here also, or just... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is 10 of these guys enough to hunt stuff down? I don't know. What are these guys armed with? They've got 4 or 5 point... That's practically a light fucking cruiser. Yeah, that's probably enough. Let's go send you guys up there to harass. And there's a destroyer inside here. Which, you know, would be really funny. Wait, do I have any destroyers inside the Mediterranean? Does not. But what I do have is these guys who can go... Hello. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that should be sufficient to take care of you. And maybe I ought to put... I do need to eventually take over some of this stuff. I can deal with that later. Is there anything German looking over here? I've got... They don't have any ships over here. How many ships do the Germans even have? 37. Oh, there's a German ship. Alright, so surely I've got... Alright, where do I have all these... Where are these crews? Here we are. Alright, so... Surely 10 destroyers is enough to go take this guy out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. So that should take care of some of that. You're conquesting nicely. Let's just double check our invasions. You're doing good. These clowns are not anywhere noticeable. We're gonna move you guys in here just in case. And that conquest is doing good. Alright, so we are happy. And next turno. Hey Luxury, how you doing? Long time no see. Hope you're having a great weekend, or almost weekend. I guess it's kind of the weekend. 6 more minutes, it'll be Saturday. I'm almost out of tea. Uh-oh. We're not... Yeah. Killing civilians is inevitable. Oh, this is gonna suck to be that guy so hard. Alright, here you go. It sucks to be this dude. I really like my American ships. Yeah, where you at? Oklahoma City area didn't get hit that bad. I mean, we only got 6 to 8 inches of snow here in Norman, maybe not even that much. It really wasn't that bad. A lot of people freaked out. Oh, Kentucky, yeah, you're getting hit hard. Yeah, you're gonna get... You got a lot more of it than we did, because I was just right at the edge. where we didn't... Ooh, speaking of being on the edge... you are going to retreat, and... Oh, I don't want to organize all these ships, fuck it. We're just gonna... What's your torpedo radius? 3 kilometers, alright. We'll just let this just wall of steel just take care of the problem. We're gonna resolve this rod style. Yeah, this is the lightly armed version. He just doesn't have enough firepower. I don't know why you design a ship like that. Lots of armor but no guns. Oh, my kid's... Oh, so one of your kids made the everyday luxury. That's cool. All right, there we go. So that just sort of went away. It's not a bad name. I think it's a good name at least. All right, so that took care of that guy. Go boop these transports, and we'll just auto-resolve that. We'll auto-resolve that. Boop. There's a lot of booping going on. Let's go boop that torpedo boat. Alright, this one's going to be a bit of a fight. 2 battleships against my skirmishers. I don't... These guys are green and trained versus regulars and trained. That's a lot of fucking guns. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna try it anyway. Screw it. Affordable luxury. Affordable luxury is not a bad name either. Oh, speaking of license plates, so you know how there's that website that was trying to track down the keeping track of like all the Fed license plates. Did you hear that it got hacked and somebody replaced the picture of each of the license plates with a picture of Tom Homan basically saying that he's watching them? Yeah, no, license plate camera, you know, just the cameras and the tracking, I mean, they can track you by your license plate, your cell phone. I mean, unless you're like walking around in a hoodie, it's hard to avoid, you know, with no technology on you, it's hard to not get tracked. Alright, let's see how we're going to do this. So you guys are going to follow the destroyers. And the destroyers are going to go... Oh, never mind. Those are the battleships right there. Alright, let's see what you guys are doing. You guys have... So your wing turret battleships. Were these Mark III guns. Lots of armor, because of course they do. Although the front and back's not that heavily armored. 3-kilometer torpedoes. A 7-inch gun. But he doesn't have any small... He doesn't have any small guns. Now my guys have 5-kilometer torpedoes. So which of you guys is... So you're the regulars, and you're the trained. So I could... Alright, this is probably an awful idea, but you guys don't have... They don't have any, whatchamacallit? They don't have any small point defense weapons. These are just all big guns. Actually, wait a minute. They haven't spotted us. You know what they could do? I could just hang out here out of their firing range. Oh, no, that's... They spotted me. This might actually be a really awful idea. Holy shit. Yeah, this is a bad idea. Alright, so we are going to reload that. So that was obviously a really bad idea. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go to the main menu. My bad. Yeah, so, alright, so that's a bad idea, because those big guns, even though they lack point defense, I will get very hurt on the way in. So that's not oh, here, I should probably, I should have done the be right back thing while I was trying to load the game up. Screw it. I'm no good at streaming anyway. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, my phone's been doing some crazy autocorrect stuff too lately. Do I want to play for another cup of tea? Oh, fuck it, it's the weekend. Alright, give me a minute here. I'm going to go and make another cup of tea. And so I will be right back. So we will play for 2 cups of tea tonight, not just one. couple more minutes till my tea's ready.
You were mentioning about the cell phones doing weird stuff the past few days. Matter of fact, medical alert system that for my mother, it's supposed to search around, keep connection with like either strongest cell phone signal or else with Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It seems like ever since that ice storm last week, it's like every couple hours, it's losing connection and having to reset it.
I've been having some internet issues with a lot of my customers as well. All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah, I'm thinking something with that. Whereas before, that storm happened, since we got it back last October, be like maybe once a week or once every couple of weeks, it would, get to where it didn't have that good a connection, and you just turn it on, turn it off for maybe half a minute and turn it back on, and you get another connection. It'd be good to go for another couple weeks or so.
Right.
But ever since it seems like that ice storm, maybe it also that recent, solar storm it had, it's like now it's like every day having to reset that thing multiple times because it keeps wanting to lose connection. And one thing I figure either maybe like that solar storm and or that recent ice storm we had done something like the cell networks to where it's having problems keeping the connection there.
I don't know. Do they get? I don't think they get a lot of snow in Oregon. I mean, I guess up in the mountains, it depends on where in Oregon, probably. But on the coast, probably not as much. All right, convoy. Hello, convoy.
No.
What is that? That's an old battleship. I really don't want to. No, I really don't. Why do we have to convoy blockade? Why are you forcing me to attack if I have the advantage? I don't want to attack this shit. I really, really don't want to attack this ship, but you're faster than... Son of a bitch. Alright, well, I guess this is gonna suck. Who's my allied nation that has a shitty battleship? Because that battleship is not America approved. I bet it doesn't even have a cage mast.
It said down there toward the bottom, Norway.
Oh, fuck Norway. I'll be right back. I'll get my tea. have a new cup of tea, so I'm good for at least a little while longer. I feel sad that we have to call people Democrats, Republicans, Liberals, Conservatives. We live on a planet, we should all get along. Yeah, Shit, hold on a minute. Let me see who's calling me. Apparently tomorrow is Bring Your Dog to Work Day. So my employees have decided, hey Bob, we're gonna have a Bring Your Dog to Work Day tomorrow. I'm like, okay. Don't tell Christoph, he doesn't want dogs there, but whatever.
Tiny Dog gets to go on a field trip?
No, I'm not gonna take Tiny Dog. One of my techs, he's stuck dog sitting tomorrow, but he also has a bunch of work he has to get done, so he's gonna bring his friend's dog with him. It's a nice little dog. It's a little puppy. Anyway, Solomon, regarding what you typed, here's kind of my philosophy. I'm gonna say something that's gonna get me like banned from the internet. What if we just be friends with good people regardless of their politics, and we disassociate with bad people regardless of their politics? Because I don't really give a shit about what team somebody's on. You know, as long as they're leaving me alone and not bothering me, as long as they're being a good person, I don't really, it doesn't really bother me if I agree with them on their politics or not. But I know that's kind of blasphemy. All right, so we are far away. So you are going to retreat, and you are also going to retreat. Yeah, this ship right here is really... Norway, if you get this ship sunk, you fucking deserve it. How dare you have a ship this stupid? Fucking single-barreled 11-inch... This is a dumb ship. You deserve to lose your ship. You just deserve...
They had to have bought that from someone else.
Oh, yeah, they didn't buy it from me. And how the hell did you get this thing in the Mediterranean anyway? No, I mean, I just tell people in my politics lay at the crossroads of eat your vegetables and stay off my lawn. You know, be responsible and leave me the fuck alone. And that's...
You know, or the simple way, as my grandfather once put it, some people are just natural-born assholes and should be avoided at all costs.
Right, exactly. Somebody was asking me once, how come I cater to both the Democrats and Republicans? I'm like, because I like money. I mean,
Michael Jordan once said, and somebody asked him about his politics, why he didn't discuss his personal politics. He said, because Republicans buy shoes as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, I mean, I'll tease both parties. You know, I'll make fun of the different parties, but you know, I mean, I don't want to fight that either. Oh, okay, so that conquest is going nicely, and are you trying to, you really want some of that, don't you? I need more ships in... I really need some more ships here, because I need to have some tonnage. I don't have enough I don't have enough tonnage in the Mediterranean is the problem. I have tonnage here, though. No, I don't. I have 3 where do I have 3 battleships at? There's 2 battleships. What said I have 3? Is there like a battleship hiding in one of these ports getting repaired somewhere? Or do I have one in Gibraltar? Oh, you guys, because you're blockading that area, but you probably don't need to, because I don't think they can get through. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to have you guys... that's going to be another turn. Are we trying to... Are we still trying... We're still trying to piss off France so we can finish them off, right? I think we're still trying to piss off France, yeah. So we're going to... We're going to shit on France some more. And then we're going to have this battleship and his little buddy. We're going to have you go over here to... Western Turkey's in the Aegean Sea. So we're going to have you guys just go right over here. And then we're going to have you guys go here. And then these destroyers are going to go over here also. We're going to have a nice big flotilla party. And then we will send more destroyers into... So Sicily's central Mediterranean. So let's go put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to send you guys there. And then you guys we're going to put here in Western Mediterranean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm also going to take... Because I own Gibraltar, don't I? No, I do not. The Brits own Gibraltar. Okay. So we won't worry about that. So these guys are really not in a position to fight all of that stuff. That's going to be a little bit more oomph than I can handle. And I don't have a lot of ships out here. Because those 2 battleships are a problem. Now, what is this? What can I give more input about you and your friend? Let me go read this real quick. All right. Over stupid shit. We're participating in They're participating in anti-ICE protests. You're defending ICE and the government, and so here's the problem. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, and here's the problem with the whole ICE, anti-ICE thing, okay? And I'm going to piss off a lot of people by saying that, okay? I mean, there's a lot of details and stuff going on, and people are really riled up over it, and I can totally understand. There's a lot of shitty things happening. And the pro-ICE people are upset because some of the illegals have done bad things, and people want them gone. And the anti-ICE people are upset because ICE have done bad things, and they want them gone too, right? So it's not just cut and dry. The bigger problem is that... So, foreign migrants, mass migration is being used as a weapon against not just Western people, but also against these third world migrants as well, right? Everybody's kind of getting fucked because the fat cats in charge want a serf class. They want a two-tiered citizenship or a two-tiered system where they've got they like their slaves, but slavery's bad, so they don't want to call them slaves. So they bring over a bunch of people into these foreign countries that are going to be dependent and that don't have legal status. And a lot of these people are being tricked. A lot of them are being trafficked, right? So it's not really anybody's fault for wanting a better life. And when they get to this, when they get to wherever they're going, like when they get here to America, they don't have a lot of rights and privileges, and they can get mistreated by the sweatshops and places where they get employed, right? Or with a lot of the Somali fraud, for example, going on in Minnesota, the Somali refugees, migrants, immigrants, however you want to call it, they're not really the ones running the show, laundering all that money. There's some fat cat on top who's telling them what to do, and these guys are the fall guys. So when somebody gets arrested, it's going to be some Somali illegal who's not supposed to be here who gets deported, and not the guy running the show behind the scenes. So they're getting kind of screwed on both ends, and then the American people are getting screwed because they're getting a bunch of their money ripped off and stolen. And I've said this for a long time. The fat cats running the show, they want the American left and the American right fighting with each other. That way we're too busy to realize we're all getting screwed by the same people on top. And so by bringing in a bunch of violent criminals into the country, that creates a lot of chaos. It guarantees an overreaction by the people, by the government, because I think the ultimate goal is they want to suppress free will, and they want to create a police state. And if you create enough chaos and problems in a country, the people are going to ask for a police state to save them, right? I mean, remember how Nazi Germany got formed? The communists were causing so much trouble that people practically begged Hitler to clean up the mess. Then we all saw what that became, right? It became awful. And so I think the goal is the chaos. And so this is why I'm not going to denounce the protesters, and I'm not going to denounce the people who want the immigrants gone either. Now objectively speaking, whenever you have large populations move from one area to another, you're going to have sort of a demographic collision. You're going to have collisions of incompatible civilizations. And, no offense to the Somalis and no offense to the Americans, but, the people in Somalia are not culturally compatible with the people in America and vice versa. It's two completely alien societies, right? Now, America can assimilate people at a faster rate than other countries because we've got an open, relatively liberal culture. And we're relatively tolerant compared to other countries. However, we can only absorb people so fast. And when you overwhelm the system, you can't assimilate people, and instead of people gaining understanding of one another, then their cultures will clash, right? So like, when I visit other countries, and I've been to places that have very different values than America, right? So like, I was in Istanbul, and it's fascinating to be among the Turks. And, being of Greek descent myself, the Greeks and the Turks kind of have a long history of not getting along, okay? For, like 4,000 years of not getting along. There's some history there. But, when I'm there, I'm a polite guest, and they treated me very well. But I had to behave by their rules. And if I didn't behave by their rules, I would have had problems. If you were to send 1 million Americans into Turkey and we formed an enclave, it would be like when we sent all those Americans into the green zone in Iraq, and it caused a lot of problems. And so, Istanbul was a wonderful place. I really liked it. It's like when you had all those Ukrainian refugees leaving Ukraine and going into Germany. It created a lot of problems for the Germans, because even though they were both, sort of Western nations, Ukraine's actually really more Eastern, and Ukrainians are very conservative compared to the relatively liberal Germans, and it caused a culture shock. And you can't make the whole white people versus brown people argument because the Ukrainians are every bit as white as the Germans. Even though I guess they're technically Slavs, and some people say that doesn't count and whatnot. But the point is that the people, the fat cats running the show, and you can call them by a lot of names, in general, they want the working class people of the world to be in chaos, and the middle class people of the world, the small business owners, to be in chaos, because what's really going on is over the last, decade, let's say, certainly since COVID, you've seen the largest wealth transfer in human history from the working and middle class to the mega wealthy. And that's not accidental. And so a lot of what's going on, I think, is, people farther up the food chain than myself are trying to create lots of chaos and get us fighting with each other so that we're too busy to realize that all of our wealth is being stolen from us. All of our freedoms are being stolen from us. And this has really been happening since, you could say since the Patriot Act after 9/11. It's also kind of been happening since the 60s. It's just been ramping up. And when you think about it, this has been happening. This is sort of a standard operating procedure for a lot of civilization, a lot of history. The nobility in Europe used to get the king would get the lords fighting with each other so they couldn't rise up against the king. And so, a lot of what I see going on, just based on my firsthand experiences in traveling around the world and experiencing a lot of different cultures, is the people running the show at the top want us fighting. The same people mass migrating, incompatible cultures around the world, into Western Europe and even into different places in Africa and whatnot, creating all these race wars and culture wars and religious wars. These are the same people, generally, I think, causing the same kind of problems everywhere. And, yeah, you saw a lot of this in the Vietnam War. The Vietnamese didn't really want to ally with the Chinese. They wanted to team up with the Americans to kick out the French. But then our big-brained people decided we're going to team up with the French to colonize Vietnam. So of course then the Vietnamese turned to the Chinese communists, who they didn't like, but they hated them less than they hated the French. And now that all this time has passed, now Vietnam is actually a reliable trading partner with the US. Yeah, of course kings did that. If you want to stay in power, you want to make sure that you're the most powerful person. But you also need to make sure that no group of people can team up against you and gain more power than you, so you've got to keep everybody fighting. So that's, and you see that in business also. It's the businesses will monopolize. Oh yeah, on the home front, yeah, there was a lot of, during the 60s, you had the Soviets doing their demoralization, as they called it, trying to erode the unity of the American people. And because of our geography, if you look at this world map here, America is in, we got the winning hand for location, right? We've got friendly neighbors to the north, relatively speaking. We've got friendly neighbors to the south, relatively speaking. And neither country, no offense to Canada or to Mexico, but if y'all ever fucked around, you would very quickly find out, right? So they're not gonna cause us trouble. And then we have oceans to the east and west. So we are like in a fortress, a natural fortress. And we're far away from all the chaos and bullshit of Europe. Look at all this bullshit here. You got Germany and France and England and Spain and Poland and Hungary and Ukraine and Russia and the Nordic countries. You got Africa to the south, that they can, you had all kinds of wars even in ancient times, right? And so we've got the best starting location in the world. And so the Soviets realized that the only way to take out America would be to cause chaos in America and basically have us destroy ourselves from within. And then after the Soviet Union fell, the Chinese communists took over the Soviet policy of demoralization, and so this is why, like, a lot of the Black Lives Matter funding, for example, came from China. You know, a lot of the Antifa funding came from, you know, China. A lot of the Proud Boy funding probably comes from China too. A lot of the, you know, so if you were to look at all of these different groups that are fighting and causing trouble in America, a lot of it's probably receiving Chinese funding. And if you look at, there was a report that came out a while ago. Something like 70 to 85% of American politicians at all levels receive some sort of campaign financing and donations from non-government organizations and non-profits that in turn those guys receive money from China. So China's basically influencing, and it's not just China, you know, the Middle Eastern countries do it too, European countries, because America basically is the global hegemon, at least for the time being. And so why build up a big military when you can just buy some politicians in America and enact your international will by controlling or influencing American politics? So when you see all of these problems going on, a lot of this is astroturf. A lot of this is being artificially funded, or rather the chaos itself is being artificially funded. One of my friends was in New York, was involved in some of the BLM Antifa stuff, and he was telling me how outside individuals who were not part of their protests were going in, breaking windows, throwing bombs, and causing trouble to try and stir up a riot. Some of my friends in Ukraine during the Euromaidan were telling me that there were snipers up on the rooftops shooting into both sets of crowds to get the crowds to start fighting with each other. So a lot of this is artificial. And, you know, you can blame the American State Department or CIA, you can blame the Chinese, you can blame various government, you know, global whatevers. But there's the reality is there's a big power game taking place at a supranational level, at a global level. The United States is likely involved. You know, China's likely involved as world superpowers. But probably beyond that, it's probably more like, you know, like World Economic Forum level stuff. Although there's probably people pulling their strings as well. So there's probably, like, the big banks, the big financiers behind the scenes are likely donating money or spending money to craft a global system that they have control or influence over. And so so the reason I don't get upset or get super involved in these different protests is that a lot of those guys are just being manipulated by people far away. I mean, what's happening to the illegal sucks, and what's happening to the American people sucks, right? But until we address the problems of actual autonomy, to where we can actually control our own politics and control our own finances and whatnot, and not be influenced from abroad or from fat cats in our own country, then we're not going to really solve any of that. And so this is why I tell people to focus on helping good people and focus on staying away from bad people and focus on your local community. Anyway, so that's my advice for you, Turpits. And the big thing is just stay out of trouble, because shit's going to escalate and people are going to go to jail or get killed. And you don't want any part of any of that, I don't think. Unless you're really that committed to one side or the other. But then just understand that you're likely being somebody else's pawn. So I would just stay out of it, personally. So. Well, and remember, America causes chaos in other countries too, Solomon. Like I said, there's a big global power game happening behind the scenes. And so what we see on the news and what we experience in day-to-day life is more likely to be fallout from the big power game that's going on. Which is why I basically said, fuck it to all this, and now I play video games and I hide out in Oklahoma. Where, as long as people leave me alone, I'll leave them alone. That's, you know, I just got tired of playing the game in New York City and I peaced out. So that is why I play video games instead of exclusively talk about, you know, politics and whatnot, because My opinions are very unpopular because everybody wants a my side, your side strategy. And the game is being engineered to where both the left and right are... whoever's pulling the strings, and I don't know who exactly it is, I just know that it's being done. Whoever's pulling the strings want the left and right to destroy themselves. There was a... was it the Tom Clancy book, The Sum of All Fears, where where people behind the scenes were trying to get the Americans and Russians to get into a war with each other, or the Americans and Soviets to get into a war with each other to destroy each other, and that way they could regain their powers. Like, I think it was like Nazis or something, like German Nazis or something, were trying to convince America and the Soviets to go to war so they could then rise from the ashes of Germany, and but a lot of that stuff kind of, that kind of shit kind of happens. It's like in UAD, why I don't choose any allies and I stay out of it so I can keep gaining power quietly and slowly absorbing the war, or absorbing the world as everybody's fighting each other off. Because if I were a global tyrant, that's what I would want to do. And whoever is pulling the strings behind the scenes, they're avoiding direct alliances so they can just, they're just trying to extract wealth and power from the people. So, buy more guns. Now, I'll give you some hope. The law-abiding American gun owners outnumber every military in the world combined by a factor of 10. And as long as the left and right in America don't kill each other off, should we ever unite, we'll be the most powerful force on the planet. And we could easily topple the system, which is exactly why they want the left and right in America to destroy each other. So, there's my diatribe for the evening. I know that's why you love hanging out here. I'll be playing video games, and I'll just go on some rant about fuck the man. So I know that's why you guys are here secretly. I've got a lot of stuff in here, don't I? What do we have here? We have all these battleships plus that torpedo. You know what? Battleships, I think you should introduce yourself to Mr. Heavy Cruiser there, and I think you should go take him out. That's what I would do. 10 destroyers. Let's go chase you. And let's go chase that torpedo boat. And then in the Pacific, there we go. You guys go team up. Oh, do I have any destroyers here? I do not. Very sad. I have some battleships here. When did I have battleships? I guess, well, they can just hang out. They're not doing anything. Alright, fuck it. Let's just save, and we're not in a race anyway, so we're just going to take this nice and chill. Why, thank you, luxury. Yes, go to war with France. Fuck for... Yeah! Take that, Frenchies. You snail-eating bastards. We're going to invade your last country.
At many points during your diatribe there,
Uh-huh.
I kept thinking, this sounds like it's straight out of Tom McDonald's Welcome to the System song.
I don't know that.
Oh, you haven't heard him?
No, I have not.
I do not agree with a fair bit of his politics, but listening to his music, some of it is like, wow, he nailed this. And the song Welcome to the System was the first song I ever heard, and arguably my favorite.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I have it all figured out, but I am putting the pieces to... I can see the general pattern. And here's the thing, like, when I look at the stuff that pisses off my friends on the left, and I look at the stuff that my friends on the right get pissed off about, they're getting pissed off about the same things, right? They're getting pissed off that they're getting fucked all the time. It's just that they're being told the blame is somebody else, right? They're saying blame each other and not on the forces behind the scenes. And
Exactly.
now, let me be clear. I draw a distinction between the average normal person who is on the right and the left versus the people in political power on the right and left, right? I mean, so, like, I have no beef with any of the Black Lives Matter protesters. I do have beef with the people running Black Lives Matter who stole all the donation money and used it to buy mansions, right? Because that has nothing to do with not having black people getting killed. So, I have no problem with, my Republican friends, even the very conservative ones. I do have a problem with, like, Lindsey Graham, who's, probably involved in money laundering or something nefarious or getting money to his donors, and he's always promoting every war around the world that he possibly can. Let's go blow up Russia. Let's go blow up Iran. Let's go, And so I have a problem with those kinds of people on the left and right, but the average rank-and-file dude who is getting riled up in the situation, I mean, look, man, I don't blame you. I mean, life sucks for a lot of people right now, and it's natural to... Yeah, money is basically a way to tokenize human energy. Let's call it human effort, because that would be the combination of energy, resources, etc. So man, I don't know if I can take out these two battleships. I mean, those are tanky battleships. I think I need something a little bit bigger than a tiny jalapeno. But maybe I can... The real challenge is, in order for me to take out those battleships, I have to get into brawl range. And that is my weakness. I probably ought to just run away. Even though I've got a pretty decent force here, those two battleships are a little bit scary. Well, I mean, there's... So, like, if we didn't have 9/11, for example, we would already have colonies in space and we'd be on Mars by now. Just like if we didn't have... I mean, if the Roman Empire never fell and we didn't go into the Dark Ages, we'd already be at Alpha Centauri. I mean, we lost 1,000 years of technological regression during the Dark Ages. And if we look at all the modern technology right now, all of modern technology is basically being directed towards suppressing individual will rather than expanding human freedoms. And that's no bueno also. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep retreating, because I can tie these guys up in an endless battle and retreat and get away and never have to actually fight them. And then when my big ships eventually show up, then I can take them on, because I don't trust my... I'm referring to general purpose technology, public technology, not the private stuff that we do that is, 20, 30 years ahead of everything else. Yeah, I am going to need something chunky to take out German battleships, but I'm just going to keep fighting sort of a war of attrition and keep just kind of nibbling away at them. Because I am wrecking their economy. Oh, I lost a lot of transports all over the fucking place. That's not great. That's not great. Ooh, I lost like 8% transport capacity. That's harsh. That's harsh. Alright, the Turks are really... 2 more turns and I'll get Turkey, northern Turkey, and that'll screw them over pretty good. I could take southern Greece. I've got the tonnage for it. How are the Germans doing? They got 3% army logistics versus my 100%. So the Germans ain't doing shit. Oh man, even Belgium's gonna get a bite of piece out of their ass. I would like to take Western Germany before Belgium gets them, but I kind of want to clean up the Mediterranean first. And it's going to take a few turns. Now I could try for Central Italy, which is worth 10 billion. Northern Greece is worth not as much. Can I get Central Italy? I cannot. So I mean, I wouldn't mind taking Syria from the Germans, but if the Egyptians want to get Syria and let them fight it out with the Ottomans, that's not really my business. I could also get Hijaz. Get me some Saudi Arabia. I think we're going to do that. As much as I would like to take Greece, then again, I can always grab this later. I mean, I got 7,000 troops up there. I don't have enough troops to really take that. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Start working on Saudi Arabia or go for Greece? I almost want to grab this just so I can maybe get some army action going through here. And the Turks are kind of...
I always like bring anything out that isn't me in the Mediterranean, so I would say Greece.
Yeah. I wish there was a way to take out Eastern Turkey, so I never had to work, because I can invade the rest of them. Yeah, fuck it, let's get Greece.
I sent you a link to that song, so you can check it out.
I will check it out later. Alright, so we're going to get Greece, southern Greece. Alright, now these guys, I think we're going to take out southern Italy next. This torpedo boat, I don't know what we're going to do with you. We're just going to have you hang out here in the Black Sea. And we got Portugal. So you guys, now that we've gotten Portugal, you guys are going to head up towards Germany. Actually, let's go head up towards... Let's go take care of those battleships up there. I mean, I would like to take out Belgium, but... we'll do that. Oh wait, I'm going to need ships in the Central Atlantic. Oh, I got ships in the Central Atlantic. Are you Central Atlantic? You are Central Atlantic. Okay, so next turn I'm going to invade France with all of the stuff that I've got. Oh, I've got lots of things. Sure, it'd be nice if you could catch that. Thank you. Alright, convoy. Actually, first I want to double check my invasions. You are good. You're not getting past me. You are good. And you are good. Alright, so convoy. Can three tiny jalapenos take out? Yeah, you're the shitty ones. Let's get them. Alright, let's see here. What is my take on the timeline stall since 9/11? So... before 9/11, I was doing a lot of graduate level space station research, and I was involved in I was doing my graduate research in microgravity design, and I was pretty well respected, at least among, in the college groups in the Southwest for microgravity design. I was involved with some people who had been involved in commercial space station projects in the past, and when 9/11 happened, everything stopped. All efforts towards manned space colonization stopped. All the money dried up, all the interest dried up, and everything turned inwards towards Earth, for basically blowing up the Middle East, dominating the Middle East. And so we definitely have had a timeline stall, and most of our, we've had, I mean, I guess more specifically, we have had a severe regression in our social and societal development since 9/11. If it truly was just some Middle Eastern terrorists trying to fuck over America, they did a great job. I think it is more likely that there was some outside influences as well, because the after effect of 9/11... So, the Patriot Act, for example, a lot of those laws and ideas, people in the intel community and in Congress had been talking, or behind the scenes had been talking about those kinds of restrictions and laws for a long time. They needed an emergency to pass it through, right? Just like I was saying how the Germans, because of their fear of the communists, voted for Hitler. Americans, because of their fear of the Muslims, allowed Congress to pass the Patriot Act, which wrecked a lot of our personal freedoms and did a real number on on holding us back as a society. So, if we give it to the benefit of the doubt that it actually... No, I mean, and there was stuff moving in that direction beforehand as well. But, certainly 9/11 is when it went into overdrive. There was a CIA paper back in the 70s, I believe, talking about shifting away from cash and shifting to some form of digital currency, credit, stuff like that could be tracked and manipulated. So there's been an effort for some time to control the American people. I guess that's kind of a nice way to put it. What's your torpedo range? 3 kilometers. This guy's so gonna try and launch on us. Alright, we have to take evasive action. Let's go turn back. Because he launched again. What's your thoughts on Tartaria? I'm not... What is Tartaria? I'm not sure what that is. I might know the concept, but I'm not familiar with the name. And also, just to be clear, I'm not a revolutionary. I don't think we ought to be trying to overthrow the system, because historically revolutions seem to always eat the people that they're supposed to benefit. And the American Revolution, where the people actually came out better, is really more the anomaly. Most of the time it's more like a French Revolution or Russian Revolution, where things go absolutely horribly for the people. So I am definitely more of a reformist than a revolutionary. Just for any of the feds listening in, because I know you guys do. Yeah, I'll Google that. Or if you just want to tell me, because I'm trying to sink these German ships. Yes, you're both out of torpedo. You know what? You have not been sufficiently poked full of holes. Let's keep some secondary guns going on this guy so we can brawl you down, because you're out of torpedo, so we can get into brawl range now. There we go. Alright, let's get closer and make friends. Well, consciousness revolution. So, if you're talking about a consciousness revolution, I will say this. Whether deliberate or accidental, and I do think it's deliberate, there seems to be, coincidentally, nearly every force in modern society is designed to erode people's spiritual awareness and move them towards a Are you guys back this way? You know, move them towards a consumer mentality, right? And so people no longer sit around and think about God or philosophy or the nature of the universe, and instead they're focused on how can I buy that next thing that I don't need. So, and that's not healthy for us. I don't know if that's what you're referring to or not, but I think that's going on. No, I think that the fat cats want us, or the ruling elite want a dystopian future where they're, in control. Look at Blade Runner. Do you remember the old movie Blade Runner? I know they made a remake, and the remake kind of sucks. That doesn't really count. But the old Blade Runner, you had all this technology and all this, in a lot of these sci-fi genres, you have this dystopian future where these powerful corporations and transnational elites or transplanetary elites run the show behind the scenes by controlling money and resources, and everybody else, sure, you have your AI and your virtual reality and your drugs and all that stuff, but nobody has a sense of self, and they lack a sense of divinity. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to be a Christian, but everybody should be pursuing the divine. Pursuing good things. And, generally speaking, a good person will contribute to society more than they take. But all of the incentives right now are to encourage people to take from society more than they contribute, which causes overall societal degradation. And when they are flooding... So the reason America became so powerful is that by and large Americans would contribute more than they took. And that's how we built up over the years, right? And historically, immigration into America was from places where, people would historically contribute more than they took as well, and they wanted a place where their efforts could be, where they could benefit from their own efforts. Right now, the problem is a lot of people who are getting flooded into America come from places where they tend to take more than they contribute, because their societies have been, fucked up, because, largely speaking, because we blew them all up, right? Look at a lot of these Middle Eastern countries. We blew up their countries, destroyed their society, created chaos, and then once the population was, fucked up, then we invited them over here after they already hated us, right? And that's not objectively a good idea, and it's not a racial thing. It's that you can't go blow up somebody's house and then invite them into your house and think that they're going to like you. They're probably going to be mad that you blew up their house. So that's just not a healthy way of doing things. So, yeah, democracy at gunpoint.
Also, Munchausen by proxy.
Yeah. So, the big lie that we're being told is we're being told that it's all a racial thing, but it's not. It's really a cultural thing, and not even so much culture, but more a, it's just a matter of, it's a culture of consumerism versus a culture of altruism, right? And like, if you were to define my general philosophy in life is, I would see myself as a pragmatic altruist. So I'm not sure about a spiritual extraction from the system. Now, there are people in the Orthodox community, in the Orthodox Christian community, who feel that we are in a existential fight against, the divine versus the demonic, and that a lot of these global institutions are being run by the demonic to suppress the divine potential in people, right? Now, I'm not sure what I think about that, but there's probably some truth to that. Where there's smoke, there's usually some fire. Let's boop this transport, boop. And let's go boop this light cruiser. I want to actually fight out this fight with the light cruiser. How fast are you? 20 knots? Yeah, we're going to kick your ass. So, now, I know there's some people who get into all the spirituality stuff and occult stuff, and where dark forces are trying to extract the spiritual or emotional essence out of people. Let's see, if I had one word to describe the system, fear is a sovereignty. Yeah, the system fears sovereignty, individual sovereignty, and self-determination. Everything that we're taught in school right now is teaching us how to be a good little worker bee and how to be a cog in somebody else's machine. We're not being taught how to be self-reliant. And, they're even going so far as to claim that, self-reliance, or what's the other word that I keep hearing? Oh shit, I didn't mean to click that.
Self-sufficiency?
No, not rugged individualism. They're trying to say that rugged individualism is like white supremacist stuff, and that's a load of bullshit. I mean, do you think some African hunter-gatherer, 10,000 years ago wasn't ruggedly individual? Of course they're fucking rugged individuals, right? It doesn't, do you think the Mongols were rugged individualists. I mean, yeah, I mean, so a lot of this stuff is they're trying to demonize good, virtuous traits by, calling it racist or whatever. There's nothing wrong with being self-reliant and individualistic. It's distorted enough to extract without humanity really. Yeah, no, it's the frog in boiling water thing. You just turn up the temperature slowly. And, I mean, I think there's some truth to that. So, like, one of the things that I plan to focus on more and more is, instead of arguing over specific issues, like ICE versus the protesters, I'm not really going to argue that. I'd rather focus on the broader trends. Like, for example, I would like my country to be filled with good people, and I'd like bad people to go and fuck off somewhere else. There's not a practical way to solve that problem. That's not really a government thing. I mean, you could cut off the money to everything and then let people help each other out and sort it out. But first you'd need good people banding together to help other good people, and then you ostracize the bad people so that they're left on their own, and then you cut off all the money and aid, and then the bad people can go fuck off while the good people band together. You do something broadly speaking like that, but there's no practical way to accomplish that. And there's no quick solution. It's going to be, long-term social and societal evolution. Now, I don't know what I think about the whole Atlantis thing. I mean, being half Greek, I'm definitely enthralled by the idea. And a lot of people say that it was there was some sort of civilization in the Mediterranean that got blown up by a volcano. Maybe it's out in the middle of the Atlantic. And it could also just be some fictitious hypothetical, or even a civilization from, I mean, who knows? Maybe the Stargate TV show got it right, and that Atlantis was a civilization that existed a million years, before people came about, and that we're the second evolution of humanity. Oh, what's your idea, Luxury? How would you do it? Because I'm definitely a firm believer in, if you're going to complain about something, you should propose a solution as well. That is another battleship. The Germans have some good battleships, at least the big ones, that I'm not prepared to fight. So we are going to run away from you, because you are slow and puny. Actually, you're not puny, you're just slow. You slow, fat, stupid battleship. Yeah, we are going to... Actually, we're going to band everybody together. And we're going to detach everybody. Please. I wish there's a select all. That'd be probably too situational. Alright, everybody run away. And pop smoke. And everybody enjoy being faster than the battleship. There we go. Let's get the fuck out of here. No, I mean, Atlantis could entirely be pre-flood. Now, I'm not sure. Now, what's Younger Dryas? I'm not familiar with that term. I don't know what that is. Now, the more people awake what's really going on, more start questioning this reality. Well, I mean, this is one of the reasons I think that the powers that be want to suppress the internet and censor and all that, because they don't want people talking and sharing ideas. They want only the established narrative to be spread. So there's probably truth to that. And here's kind of my big thought. And a lot of people might disagree. Oh, hey, look, it's a storm, but I can hide from in the storm now. Here's my big thought. We don't actually have to get it right. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to all move in a generally positive direction. Something my dad told me when I was a kid, that if you want to get to the top of a mountain, you put one foot in front of the other in a generally upward direction, and you'll eventually get to the top of the mountain. And so even if we're not getting there in the most efficient way, as long as we are generally moving in a good direction, we will tend towards a better place, and then that will solve a lot of things. Given sufficient time. This is going to be a big fight. I am going to stretch my legs and run to the little orcs room real quick, and then I will do the big fight. So I will be right back. Salvation Era was written after the Napoleonic Wars. I could see that, yeah, because the Napoleonic War, Napoleon fucked a lot of shit up. I mean, he was changing the world, and the rest of the world didn't like that. So I could definitely see how the Napoleonic Wars and the French Revolution, all that really changed a lot of stuff. I'll be right back. So whatever the break in the pipe is, the break must be high enough up that unless there's a lot of water, the water level never reaches the height of the break to spill over. That's my thought, so. Alright, I'm back. What do we got here? Heard somewhere Atlantis wasn't one place. There's a worldwide name, and that could be also. That could be. It could have been a whole civilization, not just a. Ooh, this is gonna be a lot of stuff. All right, we are going to fuck your shit up, there, Germans. You think you got some pretty battleships? My battleships are bigger and prettier. And we have cage masts. Ha ha ha. Because fuck those destroyers. I wonder if people come here to watch the gaming or if they come here to participate in the crazy conversations we have.
Yes.
I don't know if I mean, do other streaming, like game streams, have crazy conversations too, or are they just mostly just about the game? Because when I'm watching, because like usually when I'm watching streams, I'll be watching like TTB playing Mech Warrior or stuff like that, and usually it's just the straight up gaming. I don't really see a lot of the crazy conversations.
Mostly it's just about the gameplay, especially on the they avoid anything that might be considered controversial that would,
Because they're trying to make
push it
money.
right.
Yeah.
But, the small that don't give a rat. Tex talks about social stuff.
Yeah, Tex is great.
Grumpy Grunt Paw, he sometimes talks about it. Those are the two that I can think of. They have established followings, and they are comfortable enough to just talk about what they talk about. They aren't interested in, making a huge, leap in membership, but they also aren't stark raving assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a moderate what'd you call it, altruistic
Yeah.
viewpoint on things, and they will talk about that kind of stuff at times, but not a huge amount. I would say slightly less than you will, but not a huge amount. But when I say people come here for gaming and dialogue, that was intended to be funny without being entirely funny.
Yeah, no, I kind of get it. I mean, I am blessed with the ability to not give that many shits about it, because this is just a hobby for me, and I don't really care if I ever get monetized or not. Alright, there we go. So you guys, you low fuel guys, are going to follow the battleship. It probably ought to run you away, actually. And you guys are going to also follow the battleships.
Yeah, what is the trigger level now for becoming monetized? 1,000?
I think it's
Used to be
1,000.
500.
I think it's 1,000. Well, it might be 500 before you can get stream tips or donations or whatever, the super chats or whatever they call it.
Yeah, it's 500 for that. So, but it's 1,000 before you can actually become monetized. Okay.
I think so. You guys are gonna be a little problematic. Alright, so let's start. We're just gonna form a nice little broadside, and so I want to bait in your destroyers. These ships may be too slow to do much of anything. Yeah, because they're low fuel status. Alright. I would like the big guns to continue firing at the big ship. Oh, they're low on fuel too. Alright, so now we have a little bit of... Alright, you guys, I sort of want to... That's 15 kilometers. Fine, we'll fire at you. I could slow down and get better shots, and have you guys go like that also. Alright, here we go. Now we got some problemos. You guys probably just fire at the now let's just see if we can just start hitting destroyers.
Hold on.
Because these guys, I really don't want to get that close. They're going for it. I want
Hey,
to put...
since you're going to kitchen anyway, would you mind starting a pot of coffee? Thank you.
Can we please target... Alright, let's... What's the range on these guns? These have 15.5 kilometers. Alright, so I want to shoot at that guy right there. And you guys are going to follow these dudes. And alright, now this is going to actually be problematic. Let's go speed up and they're already shooting at that guy. Right? Let's see if we can just hit some of these guys. Because you are a lot closer than I want you to be. What's the range on your torpedoes? Your range is... That's not what I asked. I asked, what's the range on your torpedoes? 1 kilometer. So not all these guys have good torpedo ranges. You're 1 kilometer. You're 1 kilometer. I mean, a lot of these guys have sort of shit-tacular ranges on there. Ooh, that was a nice hit. Alright, so as far as big guns go, I'm not really sure I want my main guns firing at destroyers. I'd really rather you fire at cruisers. Now the nice thing is these guys have crappy torpedoes, so they're going down pretty quick, actually. And then you guys are just going to follow the battleships. This just keeps it nice and simple. We're going to slow down to 18 knots. And you guys only go 16. Could we maybe please keep firing big guns at big ships and little guns at little ships? You ass fuckers. And maybe actually target him instead of trying to turn. There we go. You don't need to be firing secondary guns at the battleships. What's the range on you? 16 kilometers? Oh, damn it. Oh, it's 18 kilometers away. It's too far. There you go. Go after that. Alright, now you guys are having some difficulty because you got kind of left behind. And that sort of sucks. Alright, so let's have you guys go there. I could double around. I mean, as much as I want to take out these battleships, I could let you guys fire off all of your stuff while I finish all these smaller ships. What's the range on your torpedoes? You have 1.5. You guys all short-range torpedoes? Maybe so. I really do need to double back, otherwise I'm going to lose some ships. So, alright, so you guys are going to turn around. And you guys are going to turn around as well. Let's have you go fast. have you go fast. Alright. Actually, this cluster right here will do nicely. There we go. Let's go try and give him a little bit of cover. There we go. All the DACA. Look at all those numbers. Oh, you tail ship got hit pretty hard, huh? Oh, you took a bad hit. What happened to you? You got he has a 13-inch gun? Which one has a 13-inch gun? Oh, you do. That's a Mark 1. That shouldn't be that dangerous. They both have Mark 1s. Oh, your armor's awful. What the fuck? Alright. Alright. Well, I'd love to shoot you up, but I'm busy right now.
Give him a number and tell him wait in line.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do. Oh man, this guy got hurt bad. Alright, fine. We're gonna have you start veering off a little early, because you got hit pretty good. Alright, let's just start wrecking things hard. Well, you guys are going to try and make a play for me, aren't you? It's not going to work because I have way too much firepower. I mean, you're in brawl range. This is my neighborhood. My neighborhood is brawl range. Let's not hit those. I could circle... So you guys are all low on fuel. You're not really getting away from me. So, realistically, we're going to turn... We're going to turn in. And we're just going to munch all of your shit. You guys need to start shooting at that battleship. Alright, so what I would like is for the main guns to please shoot that ship. And I would like the secondary guns to please shoot that ship. Really don't want you guys getting that close. What's the speed of these guys? These are 16.5 knots, so I can at least maintain my distance. And you're getting kind of beat up. We're going to actually cut you through there. My light cruisers may just mess up your battleships, as long as you don't hit me too hard. Yeah, you guys are just going to get completely wrecked by my line of battleships. Yeah, you guys have short torpedo ranges also, don't you? Yeah, alright, so meanwhile, these guys are going to skirmish with their battleships. Let's have main guns on your battleship. Meanwhile, you guys are going to get absolutely screwed. Alright. Start turning through here. Alright, so we're... That cruiser won't last very much longer. Alright, now we go for the big boys. Hopefully their accuracy's not that good. It's not that great. We'll go smoke up and buy a little bit of time. And alright, so this is going to work out really well. And when this is done, the German Navy is going to be screwed. Kind of surprised he hasn't fixed his engine yet. What kind of engine do you have? You've got turbines. Which explains why he goes so fast. Keep kind of moving in there. Like one. It looks like Luxury's done an awful lot of research. The veil of forgetfulness that's required to incarnate here. That's an interesting perspective. Oh, one of the battleships sank due to heavy flooding. Nice. These 13-inch guns have been doing the work. Alright. Now, what do you mean by the timeline shift? What do you mean by that, Luxury? There we go. Daka. That worked out pretty good. The veil was... Now, what do you mean by the veil? That worked out really well. Holy crap. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I understand now. I do not want to fight that battleship very much. Not particularly. I think we are going to run away, because that is a big battleship. How fast are you? 21 knots. You're almost as fast as me. I hope my guys aren't the low fuel ones. That suck. Alright. Alright, time to Run away. Really? Why are... Let's go pop some smoke. We're only moving at, There we go. We lost sight of them. Alright, let's go. Uh-oh. He sees us. Oh, no. I see him. Okay, that's fine. As long as he doesn't see us. As long as he doesn't see us. He knows we're here. Look at that. He's coming for us. He wants us bad, but you're not going to get any. You are not. Because we are leaving. We did not sign up to this party. Okay. The veil is what keeps you from remembering before this incarnation. Okay.
But Bob, he has your ship's RSVPs.
Nope. Do not want. Bad touch. Do not want. Look at this. I love semi-armored cruisers. Look how chunky this guy is with his 5.1 inch guns. I got all my 2.9s, a single 3-inch because I couldn't put a 2.9 there, and more 2.9s. I mean, this guy has just all the fuck you destroyer capability, and the cage mass so I can outspot the battleship, which is very rare that I get to outspot something unless I'm playing America. I'm almost out of my second cup of tea, by the way, so that means... And we're about 3 hours. Yeah, I guess a cup of tea lasts me about 1.5 hours. So I'm going to be wrapping it up, I think. Because I do have to work tomorrow. Sorry, 2 in the morning. Guys, I love hanging with you, and we always have... Well, not always have interesting conversations, but when everybody's around, we have interesting conversations, and I think that's great. So, hope you guys are having fun, all 8 people watching, and the probably 100 or so people who will eventually see this video. I think it's a super sexy ship. I love American ships. And it's not just because I'm biased, which I am, but I'm a big fan of the cage masts. I like cage masts so much I even put on 2 cage masts on this guy. That's how much I like cage masts. Mostly because I like the small footprint, so I can squeeze a lot of other... stuff onto it.
That's DACA.
Yeah. All these little...
As a general rule, I like American ships, but I cannot stand those early turreted ships that have the offset turrets. Those hurt my ADD.
Yeah. Let's go speed up the times 30 now that we're hiding in the smoke. That got us a little more distance. Well, we can see him from 24 kilometers away. If only I had a 24-kilometer gun on this thing. I never liked coffee that much. You know,
24.
You know, Scott Adams, rest his soul, I never liked coffee that much. My Uncle Louie tried getting me to drink coffee with him, and I just couldn't do it. Yeah, Solomon drinks a lot of tea, too.
Watching or having some of that little tiny cups.
Those little espresso cups.
Isn't Turkish coffee even stronger than espresso?
It might be. I'm not sure. I don't... You know, I didn't drink any coffee when I was in Turkey. Oh, there we go. I outpaced that guy. These guys have such... What I love about these ships, I love their crazy spotting distance. These patrol ships are such nice scouts. Alright. Germany got wrecked. I lost a lot of transports too. Southern Greece. I got the Marshall Islands. 175. Ooh, I took another hit. Alright, so this is an invade France turn. Just so I don't forget, we're going to invade France. Mauritania. Where are you, Mauritania? I need like 8,000 tons, which is going to be you guys. We'll park you there. Actually, I don't even have to do that. I could... You know what I can do? I can take... What's that? That is a single battleship. I'm going to take you guys who are all low on fuel, which sort of sucks. You guys are going to go get him. And you guys are going to go down here to get that. Alright. That's 2 battleships over there. Where were you guys going? You guys are going... Oh, you're going down this way. I see what you're doing. Okay. Alright. And you got that destroyer there. Let's just go park. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go park 10 destroyers there to blockade Gibraltar. And... let's have you guys hang out there. Alright, so I've got... They're in the invasion zone. They got one more turn. Man, these guys might fucking pull it off. That's going to be really annoying. I kind of want to do one more turn, but I better go to bed. So... Alright, so guys, I am going to call it a night. So, thanks for watching and hanging out. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would be tempted to keep the stream going just so Luxury and Solomon can keep on talking, but I'm definitely starting to fade. I don't want to make a third cup of tea because that's gonna be a little too it's gonna be a little too much for me.
Stick around on Discord after you end the stream for a minute.
Yeah, I'll hang out on Discord for a bit. So, alright, so you guys are awesome.
Good night, Luxury and Solomon. And everyone else.
Yeah, I'll probably do some mech stuff. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow after work. You know, I should be wrapping up work towards about 6 or 7 o'clock, I think. So, yeah, you guys should definitely hang out. I mean, Luxury, you're also welcome to join us on Discord. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Good night.